Hi Year 4, back again for another geography lesson this week. We're on to session 3 of our Raging Rivers topic. Thank you to those of you that have sent in some of the work from the previous sessions. I can see lots of you have thoroughly enjoyed finding out about rivers of the UK and rivers from around the world. So I'm hopeful that you're going to have lots of fun enjoying this lesson as well. So this week our work is still saved on the Google Drive like usual. So as you log into the Google Drive, click on the Year 4 Home Learning tab and you'll see week 9 is there ready for you. In the geography folder, you'll see there are 3 different things for you to access. The thing that you need to look at first, and the thing that we're going to go through together today, is the PowerPoint presentation, which is this one in the middle here. You've also got an activity sheet for you to complete once we've gone through the PowerPoint presentation, and then there's also an explanation of what it is I want you to do of your independent task. This week, in order to view your PowerPoint, I'd really like you to download it rather than just doing the screen viewer. If you just click on it, you'll just be able to view it on your screen, and then you won't be able to access any of the links that are embedded within the PowerPoint. So to download it, you're going to right click, use the right click mouse button on the PowerPoint icon there, and you'll see that these options come up. If you click on that download button there, your PowerPoint presentation will begin to download. It literally just takes a few seconds for you. Once it is downloaded, you'll see it looks like this, exactly the same as last week. You'll need to be viewing it in slideshow mode. So if you click on the slideshow tab at the top there and then click on from beginning, that will really help you to view all of the features within the PowerPoint. So as you can see, our session this week, session 3, is focusing on the features of a river. So we're going to be thinking about all of that learning that you've done so far from the UK rivers from around the world, but also the UK rivers and also rivers from around the world. But this week we're going to be homing in a little bit more about what things you find in rivers, the features of a river. So as you can see, by the end of the session, you're going to be able to describe the key features of a river system, and we're going to break that up into 3 parts of the river. We're going to be looking at the river's upper course, we're going to be looking at the river's middle course, and we're also going to be looking at the river's lower course as well. And you're going to start to compare the different features, what makes them similar, what makes them different throughout the river as we go. So to start off with today, I want you to think about those rivers that you've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks. It might be some of the UK rivers that you found on Google Maps. It might be one of those world rivers that you explored last week, the River Nile or the River Amazon, for example. I want you to think about that river, try and think of it as though it would be a human, from a human's viewpoint. If that river was born, what might it see right at the beginning of its life? What sorts of things might be around it? What sorts of places might it see? What sort of events might it experience along its journey? And as that river grows, as it journeys on, then what might it see? How might that be different? What sorts of things would it see along its way? And then at the end of its life, what might the river see? What might it be doing? What things might it have experienced? So, across the last few sessions, there's been some key vocabulary that I've taught you. We looked at the source of the river, the mouth of the river, and last week we started to think about tributaries as well. This week we're going to be thinking about lots of key vocabulary, and you can see here this word bank provides lots of new vocab for you. Upper course, middle course, lower course, valley, channel, waterfall, rapids, gorge, meander, tributary, confluence, floodplain, oxbow lake, delta, and estuary. Some of that vocab you might have heard of before, words like waterfall perhaps, or rapids. Some of that vocab might be completely new, things like confluence, delta, meander perhaps. By the end of this session and after your activity, you're going to have a really good understanding of exactly what those words mean. So, in order to help you to understand, within this PowerPoint there's a video that I want you to watch. And to access the video, all you need to do is just click on this picture, anywhere in this picture of the video, and the video will begin playing it. You'll need an internet connection for you to be able to watch it, as it is an internet link for you to be able to view that. Throughout the video, lots of that key vocab from your word bank will appear. While you're watching that video, I want you to think about which of those words do I hear and in what part of the river do I hear it? So you'll see as the video is playing, it starts at the upper course of the river, the first section of the river near the source. And I want you to think about which of those features, which of those words from that word bank can I hear in the upper course? As the video continues playing, you'll see that it moves into the middle course of the river. And again, which of those features do you see in the middle course of the river? And finally, towards the end of the video, you see the third section, the lower course of the river. Again, which of those features do you find in the lower course of the river? How are they different to the upper course of the river? So that you can keep that word bank in mind, I've popped that word bank on your geography task sheet, and you'll see, I'll show you that in just a moment. So you could perhaps tick off each of that key vocab as you watch the video. It might also help you as you're watching to just make some notes about what each of those words mean, especially if they're new words, that might help you to remember them. Okay. Once you've finished watching the video, I want you to think more carefully about those three courses of the river. So the upper course, rain falling in highland areas flows downwards and collects in channels, forming a stream. As the stream continues to run downhill, it is joined by other streams and increases in size and speed. The point where the rivers join is called a confluence. Some of that key vocab coming out already. In the middle course, as the river reaches its middle course, the fast-flowing water causes erosion, which makes it deeper and wider. The river erodes left and right, forming horseshoe-like loops called meanders. And then finally, in the lower course, a river is in flatland and it flows more slowly. The force of the water is lower than at the other stages, so the river deposits all the bits of eroded land that it's been carrying with it. So you can see each of the sections of the river are completely different. So we're going to start thinking about how we can compare them. In the upper course of the river, I want you to have a think about what would the speed of the water be like? What features might you find? Again, refer back to your word map to be able to help you with that one. Which features would you find in the upper course of the river? What would the valley shape be like? And how about the width of the river, the width of the channel? What might that be like? You can take some notes on your task sheet, or you can just think about these things. There's no need to write it all down. As you move into the middle course of the river, I want you to start comparing that. Have a think about, how's the speed of the river different? Is the speed different? What happens to the flow of the water? What features might you find in the middle course of the river? And how are those features different to the upper course? And the valley shape, how's the valley different? And the channel, how's the width of the river changed into the middle course? How does that compare? And as the river moves into the lower course, as it starts to get closer to the sea, how does the speed of the water change now? What features might you see here that's different to other parts of the river? What's the valley shape like? And what about the channel of the width of the channel there as well? How is that different? So you can see you're starting to compare the different stages of the river. Once you've watched that video and you've got a really good understanding of what each of those words mean, there's a task sheet also saved in the Google Drive for you to complete. You've got a picture of a river system from source to mouth. And you've got a table at the bottom here with all of the key vocab that you've watched throughout that video. And it's also the same vocab that's on your word map. I want you to have a look at, use the information from that video and have a go at labelling where each of those features are within a river system. Okay, see if you can manage that. I'd also be really impressed, as a bit of an extension, is if you could add a definition as to what each of those river features are. I would be really impressed to see that. And then finally, to show a really good understanding of that key vocab today, I want you to have a go at popping in each of these features that you can see here into the right place on the table. I've popped this table on your geography task sheet, so you can jot it down on your task sheet if you want to, or you can just drag it in on the PowerPoint. That's completely fine, it's up to you. But I want you to think about which of these features would belong in the upper course of the river, which of these features would belong in the middle course and which of these features would belong in the lower course. It might be that some of these features are in more than one. So if you need to pop that word in more than one section, that's absolutely fine too. That's it for today. I'm really keen to see your understanding of the features of a river. What would be really good as well, if you're able to, why not pop out and see if you can see a river, real life river in action? The Wallington River perhaps might be something local to you. As you're on one of your daily walks, it would be really great to see if you can spot any of these features that you've seen in the video in real life. Take some photos perhaps to show me what you've seen. I look forward to seeing what you send in. That's it, Year 4. Have fun doing your geography. Take care. Bye.